Karan, concentrate Karan. Right. Characteristics of organisms. This is our topic. Our topic එක තමයි characteristics of organisms. Hari. Right. Now, can you see the image on the screen? You can just answer yes or no. Puta on the screen neke presentation neka.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Right.
Yes, sir.
Now you answered and switch off the microphones. That's okay. That's the way that you have to follow there because in some other sounds comes, that's the issue there. Our unit is characteristics of organisms. Organisms means living things, no there. Yourself, myself, animals, plants, all the things comes under the living organisms category. Now, in this unit, throughout this unit, what we are going to do, we are going to discuss some features, some characteristic features of the living organism. In this unit, what we call, there are, if you concern about the cells, there are some small microscopic cells as well as there are some cells which can be observed with our naked eye, right? So say for example, egg cell. Egg cell is a cell which we can observe with our naked eye. But there are some cells we cannot observe with our naked eye, right? Now here we are going to discuss about common characteristics of living organisms, right? Now, first of all, I am going to discuss main characteristics. Actually, throughout this unit, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss each and every characteristics in detail. Right? Now here just introduction of the main characteristics. Details, more details about these characteristics we are going to discuss later on. Right. These are the organisms. Now you see there are some non-living substances now and living substances. Non-living substances, these characteristics are not present. Right. Okay. Now if you take something like now this is something yes. This pen. This check whether these characteristics are present on this pen. Right. Now these are the main features present in the living organisms. First one, cellular organization. Puta, you just switch on microphone and tell me what is the first character. Kiana? Cellular organization. Tell me the first character.
Cellular organization.
Cellular organization. Second one, tell me. Second characteristic feature.
Nutrition.
Nutrition. Yes, nutrition. Third one,
Respiration.
respiration. Yes, you can switch on your microphone and tell me. And I'm asking some questions, you can tell me. Yes. And fourth characteristics, irritability and coordination. Tell me, Buddha.
Irritability and coordination.
Irritability and coordination. Don't worry, each and every characteristic we'll discuss later on. Right? More details still we have to discuss. Next one, what is the next point? Kian?
Excretion.
Excretion. Yes. Next feature.
Movement.
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 Yeah, movements. Next character.
Reproduction.
Reproduction. So have you seen any reproduction of this pen? No. There is no new small pens productions there because reproduction is only present in living organisms. Right. Okay. Next character. Yes, growth and development. Right. So we'll refresh the things about main characteristics. First one, you may ask to write down these characteristics. Now, if you have to identify whether it's a living or non-living things, you must know about these characteristics. First one, Kian cellular organization. Second one, nutrition. Third one, respiration. Fourth characteristic,
Irritability
and coordination. Next one,
excretion.
Next feature,
Expression.
next
Expression.
feature, movement, reproduction, and last characteristics of organism is what? What is the last characteristics of organisms? Growth and development. What's the last
Growth and
one?
development.
Growth and development. Right. So you must have some kind of idea about main characteristic features of living organisms. Right. What is the first character that we have to discuss there? Right. Okay. On your tute, if you have tute, you can write down now or later on these characteristics features, right? These are the main features. You first question they are asking, list out the common characteristics of living organisms. You can write it down now itself or later on. Now you know the main features. Your textbook, these features are given there, right? Then if that is disturbed for our class, that's issue, no problem. First characteristic is cellular organization. Now, අපි පොඩ්ඩක් cellular organizations ගැන තමයි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම කතා කරන්නේ. Right. Now you know every organism is made up of cells there. The cell is the structural and functional unit of the organisms. Structural means the things which form. The things which form structural and functional, some kind of a living function takes place. Cell is the structural and functional unit of the living organism. Structural, functional unit of the organisms. Now, every organism's cellular organization means actually first cell is formed now there. Cells together, the complexity increases there, right? Cells together. Now, I told you there, the small and smallest unit of the organism is cell now there. Now, look at this one. Right? Okay. Right. There are some organisms, they have made up of one cell. Right? There are some organisms made up of one cell there. එක cell එකකින් හැදිලා තියෙන organisms ලා තියෙනවා. There are some organisms made up of more than one cells. Right? There are some organisms made up of one cell. There are some organisms made up of more than one cell. Right? Here, one particular organisms. That organism's total body is made up of one cell there. Their total body is made up of one cell, right? Their body is made up of one cell there. Now, here, look at this one. Now, we just try to complete the blanks on the tube there, right? You can see the diagram. The smallest structural and functional unit of living organism is the cell there. Is the cell, right? Is the cell. And the group of cells together, what we call group of cells together form, what is form group of cells together? Structure is cell, a group of cells modified to perform, yes, okay, some one question. The group of cells modified to perform a specific functions, right? Now, I told you their smallest unit is the cell. Set of cells together forms what? What is the thing form set of cells together? You may have learned about in your previous grades. Tell me, set of cells together we called as a tissue there. What we call set of cells together? Tissues, right? Complete this one. A group of cells modified to perform a specific function is called tissues, right? Set of tissues together, a collection of tissues together, what is formed there? Huh? Tissues together form organ. Complete the blank. First cells, then what is formed? Set of cells together form tissues. Tissues together form organ. Yes, you can see on the screen there. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of the organ. Set of cells together form tissues. Set of what we call a collection of tissues we call form an organ there. collection of organs. Now you see their eye, hand, those are the organs there. Collection of organs together form the system. System. Systems together form organisms. Systems together form what they are? Organisms, right? Now let's get some idea about the complexity of the organisms from simple to complex. First one is the structural unit of the organism is cells. Yeah. Set of cells together form what, Puta? Now switch on your microphone and tell me. Tissues. Tissues together forms organ. Organ together form system. Systems together form organisms. This is the hierarchical organization of the organisms. Now, if you consider about the structure of the organisms, this is the hierarchical order, right? The basic unit is the cell. So, these are the some of the unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms means their body consists with the one cell, right? Look at this one. Now you can just take your tube. The structure of the unicellular organism made up of cytoplasm and organelles enclosed by a plasma membrane, right? Now you know that this is unicellular organisms, no there. Now if you concern about their body structure, yes, now you can see their plasma membrane is there and cytoplasm is there, and this is the unicellular organism's body structure, right? The structure of the universe made up of cytoplasm. There is no many complex parts there. Only these are this is the simple organisms organizational levels. Yeah. If you have what I call tube with you, you can complete the first diagram given there. It's actually what is the name of this one? What is the name of this organism? Well, microorganisms there. It's a chlamydomonas, right? If you have that tube, you can write down this is the chlamydomonas. And very much important, you have to observe the locomotive organ. So there is a particular part that they use for the locomotions. This is we called as a flagellum. What we call this locomotory organ? Flagellum. Flagellum is used for the locomotion there, right? This is the, now this is one organisms, unicellular organisms, and it has the locomotory organ called flagellum, right? And next organisms, there is another organism there, and in the tube it's given there in your tube. This is we called as the euglena. What is the name of this? This is also unicellular organisms. Their body contains one cell, euglena. Euglena has a, also there is a simple body structure. It's a one cell, only one cell their body contains. Flagellum, they also have to for the locomotive purpose, right? Next one, this is we call, you can complete in your tutor also some blanks are given there. Next one, amoeba. This is amoeba. Amoeba, the locomotory organ is pseudopods. Pseudopods. P silence here. Pseudopod is, this is also unicellular organisms. I mean, we are multicellular organisms, but these are unicellular organisms. This, the pseudopod is the locomotory organ. Locomotory means moving from one place to another place. Locomotory organ of pseudo, what you call amoeba is pseudopod, right? And yes, this is paramecium. What is the name of this unicellular organism? Paramecium. So can anybody tell me what is the locomotory organ of paramecium? What they use to move from one place to another place? You can
Cilia.
on microphone and tell me, Puta, what is the locomotory organ of paramecium? Yes? Cilia. Yes. Cilia is cilia. Yes, very good. Cilia is the locomotory organ of the paramecium. Okay, we just identify some of the unicellular organisms. That means they are body made up of one cell. What are the example for the unicellular organism? First one is Kianaputa. What is the first organism we learn? Here you can see the image. Tell me, switch on microphone and answer.
Chlamydomonas.
Huh?
Chlamydomonas.
Chlamydomonas. Next we discuss next unicellular organism. What is this one? Huh?
Euglena.
Euglena. What is the name of this unicellular organism?
Amoeba.
Amoeba. Very good. What is the name of this unicellular organism?
Paramecium.
Paramecia. Paramecia, right? So, yes, actually they are body made up of one cell. So I told you they are according to the knowledge that we have. If you study the what you call levels of the organization, start from the cells together, tissue together, organism like that, Now their total body is one cell. Actually, within this cell, මේ cell එක ඇතුලේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Within this cell, what you call organelles are present. Some organelles, you have learned about these organelles. We talk about mitochondria. I think we have talked about those things there. Yes, mitochondria and ribosome, lysosome, like that way. They have organelles. These are organelles. Organelle level classification, organization is there right here. In unicellular organisms, first blank, organelle level organization can be seen there. Organelle levels, they have certain organelles there, right? Because we can't talk about organs of the amoeba, right? We can't talk about hand of the amoeba, eye of the amoeba, like that way we can't talk. Because their total body contains only one cell. Therefore, what we have, if we can talk about, they have only organelle level classification, right? Now we are going to discuss. Still we are talking about cellular organization. So they are cell structure. Now you can see on the screen there. I told you we are not unicellular organisms, no. But if you concern about our origin, how we form, actually we form from the unicellular unicell, one cell from one cell there. Now here, egg cells. Egg cell is the female reproductive cell. You can see this is the egg cell, female reproductive cell. Sperm is the male reproductive cells. One cell, another cells. They are unicell. They form with the one cell there. Right? Sperm has a one cell, egg has a one cell. So these two cells together, actually, it's not given in the textbook as well. I will tell you, it is not embryo. Embryo is okay, but there is another word. The cell formed together of sperm and ovule. Can anybody tell me what is it's given as embryo on your textbook, but I don't agree with that term given in the textbook there. Actually, sperm and ovule together, particular cell is formed. Here in the textbook, it's given as embryo, but I don't agree with that term. The embryo is formed from there, but one cell formed by together. Can anybody tell me what is the name of that particular cell? I just give you some kind of a clue there. Start with Z. Start with Z. Z wali patan ganne.
Zygote.
Yes, very good. Right. So the initial cell we called as the zygote. Right. Zygote is the first cell that formed between egg and sperm together. Right. Then from that zygote cell form multicellular organisms. Multicellular organism is formed from that particular zygote cell. Right. Now, I think on your tute also this the origin of multicellular organism is from a single cell. that is actually the correct word is it's not given in, it's wrong in the tute. You can correct that tute as well. It should be zygote, right? The correct word is zygote, right? Complete the blank. Origin of multicellular organisms. Uh, organisms is formed from a single cell zygote, right? So we'll go for the next page of our tute, right? Okay, then still we are talking about the cellular level, cellular organization, right? Cellular organization again, right? Next, okay. The bodies of multicellular organisms are composed of different types of cells. Now, look at this one. This is a plant. The plant, it contains a plant or is a one organisms there. Now, if you observe carefully, there are different type of cells present in the plant. Say, for example, if you concern about the plant leaf, there are epidermal cells and palisade cells, right? Here the stomata, you know, that exchange of gases between environment and the plants take place through the stomata, no? The stomata contains guard cells, stomatal openings, and xylem, phloem. So, collection, lot of cells, lot of different kind of cells. You can see that one organisms there. Not only that, so that diagram is not given there. In your textbook, you can see there one person. You can see one diagram there. That person, you know, if human body concerns, human body also you can see skin cells there, and what you call gametes, sperms and ovules, and what you call blood cells, and lot of cells, nerves, neurons, right, red blood cells, white blood cells, bone cells, different type of cells contain in our body. So what you have to understand ultimately, uh, we have some kind of organizations. It's basically from very much simple cell to organisms, right? So in how the organization levels are there, and different kind, what are the examples for the unicellular organisms? Those are the some things that you must know about for this part. Multicellular organism possess a tissue and system level organization. Yes, tissue and system level, because you know I told you they have some kind of different systems, different tissues, because we don't. I mean, in unicellular organisms, they don't have that kind of organization level. They have organelle level organizations, right? So we have some kind of a tissue and system level organizations. We have it's up to different organisms there, right? So these are the very few details about the cellular organization and how the organisms are organized, right? So if you have any kind of a questions, you can raise me. ඔයාට අහන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්න මොන හරි තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න බලන්න මම බලන්න පොඩ්ඩක් chat එකෙත් any questions there? No, it looks like there is no question. So I got answer is given there. You can switch on your microphone and ask any question that you need to raise from me. Understand the things? Yeah. Silence says that you don't have any questions about the cellular organizations. So let's move for the next characteristic feature of the organisms there. Actually, what is the next characteristic feature that we have to discuss, Puta? What is the next characteristic feature that we have to discuss?
Nutrition.
Characteristic. Huh?
Nutrition.
Nutrition. Okay. Now, you know that, so the second characteristic feature is the nutrition. The process by which the energy and materials are obtained for the maintenance of life is known as nutrition. Now, for the maintenance of life, what we need there, for the maintenance of life, we need material and energy. You know that in order to maintain our life, we need material and energy. So the highlight that and get into idea about this main point here, nutrition means there. The process by which energy and material are obtained for the maintenance of life. In order to maintain our life, in order to maintain living condition of the life, we need energy and material. So the process of supplying this energy and material we called as the nutrition. Again, get some idea. On the tute, it's given the definition and fill the blank. The process by which energy and material are obtained for the maintenance of life is known as nutrition. Again, listen. The process by which energy and material are obtained for the maintenance of life. The process by which energy and material are obtained for the maintenance of life is known as the nutrition. That is called as a nutrition. How we obtain energy and materials, right? Energy are needed for the cell growth and to repair the worn out surfaces. So you know that in order to cell growth, worn out repair, what you call the parts, worn out parts, to make the worn out parts, we need energy. The energy is obtained by nutrients. Okay, the organisms that produce their food and nutrients by themselves. So there are some organisms, they produce the food by themselves. So can anybody tell me what kind of organisms they produce their food by themselves? Tell me what is the name given for these organisms there?
Autotrophic.
Yeah, we
organisms.
call it as autotrophic organisms. Autotrophic. Yes, you can complete the blank. They are known as autotrophic organisms or autotrophism. Autotrophic organisms. Yes, autotrophics. So, are we autotrophic? Yes or no? Tuta, are we autotrophic organisms?
No.
No.
No, because we can't produce our food by ourselves. So what we have to do, we have to take food from outside. Yeah. Say, but if you're concerned about the green plants, they are autotrophic organisms. They are autotrophic organisms. Say for example, now green plants, they can produce food by themselves. So therefore, they are autotrophic organisms, right? You can complete the you have given a certain chart on your tute එකේ දීලා තියෙන chart එකක් බලන්න. Autotrophisms we divided into two types there, photoautotrophism and chemoautotrophisms. Photoautotrophism and chemoautotrophisms. Photo, what's the meaning of the term photo? Photo means photographs. No. What's the meaning of the word photo? What's the meaning of the word photo? Photo can. What is the Sinhala word for photo? Photo means actually light. Right? Photo means light. In Sinhala, the correct word of the Sinhala, prabha. Prabha translation, photosynthesis. So photoautotropism means actually, I told you there, in order to produce food, it needs energy. No, the autotropism means the production of the food by themselves. In order to produce food by themselves, the energy is obtained from light. It's photoautotropic. If they obtain energy for the production of food from the light, it's a photoautotropism. Right? Simple. So you can complete the blank. The type of energy used for the food production is light energy or solar energy. right? Basically, because they don't use any other type of energy, they use solar energy or light energy. We call it as a photoautotropisms, right? Tell me example organism with photoautotropism. Photoautotropism can organism can. Tell me one organisms who follow the photoautotropisms. They produce food by
Plants.
themselves using sunlight.
Plants.
Plants, yes, green plants. You can write down the examples. Very good. Green plants actually photoautotropisms, right? Next one, I told you this is photoautotropisms and chemoautotropism. Chemo means chemical. Then you can get some idea there. Now, in order to produce food, if they use sunlight, it's a photoautotropism, right? If they use what we call chemical energy, that is we called as a chemoautotropisms. That we called as a chemoautotropisms, right? Here, if they use chemical energy, it's a chemoautotropisms, right? Here, complete the blank. The energy used for the food production is obtained by chemical reactions. Actually, it's not green plant, some kind of a microorganisms type follow this process there, right? So chemical reactions, they get the energy for the production of using chemical reaction. That is we called as a chemoautotropism, right? So complete the blank by a chemical reactions. Example, write down most bacteria. Write down example, most bacteria, right? Then there is a statement. There is a statement. You have to complete that statement, right? Production of food inside the. I told you there in the previous term, the particular organelle which take place photosynthesis is the chloroplast, right? Production of food inside the chloroplast of the plant cell using, right? Inside the chloroplast, what is the pigment present? What is the green color pigment present in chloroplast? Chlorophyll, right? Very good. Chlorophyll, right? Here, production of food inside the chloroplast of plant cell using chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Complete the blank. Production of food inside the chloroplast of the plant cell using chlorophyll, because they use chlorophyll now there to production of food, is called photosynthesis, right? Now, that is the brief definition for the photosynthesis. But if you ask to write down the process of a photosynthesis using equations, sometimes, because this is very compulsory, you must know how to write the photosynthesis equations. Definitely, you will ask to write down the photosynthesis equation there. So, therefore, very much you must familiarize with this equation of photosynthesis equations. Putta, what are the things needed for the photosynthesis? Grade 6, we learned about the factors needed for the photosynthesis. What the photosynthesis can do? Tell me one thing for the photosynthesis. What are the things needed for the photosynthesis in order to production of food? What are the things? Green plants follow the photosynthesis process. Yeah. My question is, what are the factors, what are the things needed for the photosynthesis process?
Chlorophyll.
Oh, chlorophyll is needed. Very good.
Water.
Carbon dioxide.
Wait. One by one. Chlorophyll is needed because chlorophyll provides the green color for the what we call plants. That is pigment. Chlorophyll is there. Good. Another
Carbon
factor.
dioxide.
Yes, carbon dioxide is needed. Okay, I think you can see the screen there. Carbon dioxide. Okay.
Water.
What is the other thing needed there, Buddha? Huh?
Water.
Water, very good. We need water.
Sunlight.
Yes, another one needed there, very good, sunlight. Sunlight is needed there. So you asked to write down this equation. Now itself you have to keep in mind. Demam padang karagana. Aniwaren. Demam equation line ekati ay gedara gi me class ki wala padang karna himindima. Just now you can study this one. Demam on right. Sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, sunlight. I just wrote here there sunlight and chlorophyll here because these are the materialistic factors, material things. These are some kind of now this is a pigment. It's not a reactant. No, it's not reactant. Sunlight also not reactant. It's an energy source there. So carbon dioxide and water are the materially reactants needed for this reaction. And in which form food is produced inside the plant cells? In which form that food is produced? Tell me. It produced as simplest carbohydrate form. So what is the form that food is produced?
Glucose.
Clue there.
Glucose.
Simplest carbohydrate form that food is produced. Which form?
Glucose.
Glucose.
Glucose. Very good. Glucose. Glucose. And very important gas comes out during the production of yes, one student answered me starch there. Message starch kela. Starch is present inside the plant, but starch is charitihan, I think. Yes, starch first glucose is produced, then later converts into the starch there. Initially produced very much simpler form, glucose, right? ඒ උත්තර දෙන එක හොඳයි අපේ ක්ලාස් එක ලයිව් තියාගන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ ආන්සර්ස් එන එක හරි වැදගත්. And glucose plus another thing
Oxygen.
during the photosynthesis process. What is the other thing produced during the photosynthesis process? Glucose
Oxygen.
plus. Very important gas comes out from the green plant. Oxygen. Yes, oxygen. That's why I am telling you it purifies the environment. You see there, because of the photosynthesis process in our atmosphere, the amount of carbon dioxide reduces. You can see there carbon dioxide they are using, and oxygen amount increasing. It's a kind of a purification of the environment. Harmful gases like carbon dioxide decreasing, and very much useful gas like oxygen increasing. So that's what the importance of the photosynthesis process. But so I think you have given some kind of a space. There is a first square there. You can write down. Sometime if you ask to write down the word equation for the photosynthesis process, word equation. So you have to write down this equation. Keep in mind, if you ask the word equation for the photosynthesis, they ask it. No doubt you just check whether in your second term paper, right? I'm here telling you very much confidently. Second, they're asking word equation for the photosynthesis process. You have to write down this one. And sometimes they are asked to write down chemical equation for the photosynthesis process. This is word equation. If they ask chemical equations, you have to write down in this way there. Only you have to think about the material factors there, reactants, right? Carbon dioxide. Just give me some kind of a support to write down the chemical equations. Support Karan. What is the chemical formula of carbon dioxide? Janaputa?
6CO2.
CO2.
6CO2.
Water.
6H2O.
H2O. Thank you. H2O. Don't worry about these, what he calls these factors. They are not materials, no. They are not reactants, no. You can just write the sunlight and chlorophyll as usual way. Sunlight and chlorophyll. And What is the chemical equation of glucose? Can I put a chemical equation of glucose?
C6
Chemical formula.
H12
Chemical
or
formula.
6?
C.
6
C6H2.
12 or 6?
or 6.
Yes. C6 H12 or 6. Oxygen. Gaseous form oxygen is formed. Therefore, O2.
O2.
Yeah. O2. On your tube, you can write down this chemical equation as well. And here, if you write some kind of equation about the photosynthesis, chemical equations, what you have to do there, you have to balance both sides. Balancing equations we have done, I think, in our previous terms. Yeah. Here, 6 carbon atoms, so it should be this reactant side also. There should be a 6 carbon atoms here, 6 here. Then here, what you call uh, now oxygen 6 into 2, what you call here 12 hydrogen. You can see the 12 hydrogen. So in order to balance 12 hydrogen, here 6 comes here because 6 into 2, 12 hydrogen. Right. Now we'll check how many oxygen in this side there. Right. Look at this one. 6 into 2. Here, this is here 12 oxygen and 6 oxygen. 12 plus 6. 12 plus 6, 18 oxygen present. 12 plus 6, 18 oxygen present. Therefore, but in here only 6 oxygen. In order to become 18 oxygen, 12 oxygen should be added here. This 12 oxygen should be added here. In order to complete 12 oxygen for this product side, what I can do here, I can put here 6. 6 into 2, 12. 12 plus 6, 18. So if you have any questions, any problems, you can ask me about here. Balancing equations. I think still we don't have discussed much about the chemical balancing equation. Oh yeah. Don't worry about, I think for the second term, another units we have to discuss more things about. I think we have only done writing formulas about the chemical equations, chemical formulas. Yes. But chemical reactions and nothing we are going to discuss later on there. Yes. Right. If you feel that, yes, another text, I just read some messages that you have sent there. Yes.
That balancing is not clearly understand, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Actually, chemical equation balancing we have to discuss in another unit there. But I will explain again. Don't worry about. There is another unit in the second term. We are going to discuss how to balance the chemical equation separately. But I just, because of your request, I just explain this chemical equation once again, right? But you just understand, get some simple idea. This is the very basic thing, right? This side we called as the reactants. Reactants means the things which participate for the reaction. Reactants. This side we called as the products. Product means the things that form during the reactions. If you write the chemical equation correctly, the number of atoms of the reactant sides and the product side should be equal. That is the common standard. So, but if you observe externally, you can see there here, actually here 1 carbon, 2 oxygen, 2 hydrogen, 1 hydrogen, 6 carbon, 12 hydrogen, 6 oxygen, 2 oxygen. By looking, you can just say that here carbon 1, but the product side carbon 6. Okay. And 2 oxygen, 2 and 1. Here 1 oxygen, here 2 oxygen, 3. But this side 6 plus 2, 8. And hydrogen, here reactant side is 2 hydrogen, product sides 12 hydrogen. By looking, you can say it's somewhat difference, no, there. The values are not what we call coincide with each other. So what you can do there, you can just add some numbers in front of the chemical formula and balance. Say for example, if you put 2 here, right? We have to discuss later on another unit total how to balancing, but just to introduction I'm telling. Here 2 here. That means you have to multiply this 2 by 2. That means 2 into 2, 4 hydrogen. But here there is 1 of 2 into 1, 2 oxygens. Right. First you have to observe what is the, which side you have more atoms there. Now, carbon here, product side 6. Carbon here, reactant side 1. So in order to balance reactants and products, I just put 6 here initially. 6 thermometer. Right. Now carbon, this side also 6 carbon, reactant side is also 6 carbon. Now carbon is balanced there. Then we have to consider about the oxygen. Oh my god. Oxygen, put here 6 into 2. How many oxygens here? How many oxygens here? Right, then we'll consider about the hydrogen. Let's get that easily. Hydrogen product side, how many hydrogens there? Look at this one. Product side, how many hydrogens here? Can you tell how many hydrogens? 12. No? In order to balance product side hydrogen, what is the number that I have to put here? In order to balance the number of hydrogen product side with the reactant side, which number I have? What is the number that I have to put here? Here, the number. Yes, Puta. Here 12 hydrogens. 2 into 6. 6 into 2. 12. 12. Now hydrogen also reactant side, product side balance. I will check whether oxygen. 6 into 2. 12. 12 plus 6. 18. So here 6 there, because if you put some kind of a number for this here, the hydrogen and oxygen number also change, carbon number also change. So the only way to change only number of oxygen, you can put certain number here. So 6 into 2, 18, 6 into 2, 12, 12 plus 6, 18. Here 6 oxygen, 12 oxygen should be there. In order to put 12 oxygen, I just put 6 here. So here 12 plus 6. So you may get some kind of idea about. You can tell me messages. Okay. Later on we can talk about these things there. Right. All right. Next one. Right. Oh, next one. Produced in the leaves, stored in stems, roots, and fruits. You know that after production of the food, in the glucose form, food is produced there. Actually, glucose is the simplest form of carbohydrate. So after production of glucose, it's a monosaccharide or disaccharide or polysaccharide. Glucose. Tell me, glucose is monosaccharide or disaccharide or polysaccharide? Glucose. Monosaccharides. So then glucose is converted to the sucrose and transport and stored in the plant. You know that roots, carrot, what you call beetroot. Those plants, food is stored in roots. So sometimes food is stored in roots as starch, right? As a polysaccharides there. Initially glucose is produced and later as polysaccharide form food is stored there, right? So different parts of the plant they use for the storage of food. The food produced in the leaves gets stored in the stems, roots, and fruits. The organisms who cannot produce their own food. So there are some organisms which cannot produce their own food. I discussed with you there what they call autotrophic means the organisms which can produce food by themselves. What is the name given for the organisms which cannot produce food by themselves? What is the name given for the organisms who cannot produce food by themselves? What kind of organisms?
Heterotropics.
Heterotrophic organisms. Complete the blank, yes. Complete the blanks. The organisms who cannot produce their own food by themselves are known as heterotrophic organisms. Heterotropics. Yes. They utilize food produced by plants and organic compounds with other living organisms. Now, say for example, now you can see what you call food web on the screen. Now, here this green plant is there. And yes, this is autotrophic organisms. This is heterotrophic organisms, right? Now, but this heterotrophic organism also indirectly depend on photosynthesis, because if green plant produce food, only heterotrophic organisms depend on them. If the process of production food interrupted, then there is no food supply for the heterotrophic organisms. So same thing for us as well. Now, we don't produce food. We are heterotrophic organisms. But if the green plants unable to produce the food, then there are a lot of issues for us as well. Because you think about fried rice, kottu roti, whatever it is, the plant materials we mix them. So the plant substances are the product of are the result of the photosynthesis process. So we may not directly depends on photosynthesis. We don't directly produce food, but we indirectly depends on the photosynthesis process, right? So that's what I have to discuss here. Any other questions? Yes, another message comes there. බලමු අපි මොනවද ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද කියලා. Yes, in the chemical equations when we equal both sides. Yes, right, very good question. One student asking, yes, if you are balancing, because I have to focus my attention about the questions comes as well there. I'm telling you to ask question. Mike, it's okay. Chat waliන් කමක් නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒවට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. But පුතා you know that everything in the environment made up of material and energy. Matter and energy. Right? Matter means the substance with a mass and occupying space. Energy, there is no particular mass and the what we call occupy space there. Now, when you are writing chemical equations, so always we have to balance materialistic factors on. Materials means the things which participate for the chemical reactions. So the sunlight is energy. Energy is, there is no kind of a substance no there. Atoms actually are absorbing energy. Atoms are present in the atoms balancing, right? Balancing atoms is balancing chemical equation is done only for the materialist factor. So sunlight is not reactant here. Sunlight is not a product. It provides energy required for the photosynthesis process, right? Therefore, when you balancing chemical equations, we don't consider about the sunlight. Thank you for asking questions. Okay. Right. Any other questions? right? So we have already discussed about the two characteristics of organisms. First, we discuss about the cellular organizations. Next, we discuss about the nutrition, right? Then we are going to talk about nutrition. Under the nutrition, we study about the photosynthesis process as well. So it's very important. You have to keep in mind photosynthesis word equation as well as photosynthesis chemical equation, right? Never forget. දැනුත් ආයෙත් පාඩම් කරගන්න එක. හරි. ඔන්න එහෙනම් අපි ඊළඟ කොටසට යනවා. Right. I hope that you don't have any other doubts, any other questions. We'll go for the next part. අපි ඊළඟ කොටසට යන්නේ. Respiration. Respiration also very much common characteristics of living organisms. But when you hear the respiration in your childhood, you learn breathe in, breathe out, right? That's the term. No? Now we think that our respiration, breathe in, breathe out. But grade 10 science, we can't just say respiration is breathe in and breathe out. It's not the just respirations, right? Respiration somewhat complex process during the grade 10 class, right? Body complex ගතියක් තියෙනවා. මම කියන්න මොකක්ද කියලා, right? Now just think about all organisms need energy, no there. So we need energy in order to do our day-to-day works. We need energy there. Energy නැතුව අපිට මොකුත් කරන්න බෑ, right? I think you all can hear, no? mic එකක් තියෙනවා මෙතන. මම හිතනවා ඇහෙන්නේ නැති මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න, right? Okay. So in order to function our day-to-day life, we need energy අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. එතකොට පුතා, I told you the cellular respiration is some kind of a complex during the grade 10. No? Now, we take food. After we take food, starch, assuming that we take starch, rice. Rice contains starch. Starch is monosaccharide or disaccharide or polysaccharide. Yes, starch.
Monosaccharide.
Monosaccharide. Easy, no? Monosaccharide or disaccharide or polysaccharide.
Polysaccharide.
Huh?
Polysaccharide.
Polysaccharide. Very good. Polysaccharide. Starch is polysaccharide. Now, after you take this starch, it digested and finally form glucose. Glucose is formed. Glucose is the simplest form of food. Glucose is formed. During the photosynthesis process also glucose is formed. During the photosynthesis process glucose is formed, and if you take some kind of a food, there also glucose is formed. Then what happened there? I told you that now glucose comes to the body. Then our objective is to produce energy. Produce energy. Respiration means not just taking oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. We need to energy, because even though we take glucose, we need energy from the glucose. Kuta, there is another factor. Our purpose, I told you there, our purpose is to produce energy. Right, I will write again. We take the plant during the process of photosynthesis, they produce food. We also eat rice, so a lot of kind of different food stuffs there, and finally comes to the body glucose. So our objective is to produce energy from glucose, right? So final outcome here, don't misunderstand. Here I have writing here plus energy. It's not a product, it's a energy, form of energy, but don't misunderstand that one, because right here energy is energy. Now, in order to produce energy, right, in order to produce energy from the glucose, what are the other things needed? What are the, if you take only glucose, you can produce the energy? No, we can't. There is another factor needed for the production of energy. What is the other substance needed to produce energy? Can anybody tell me? You just take glucose. Now we just think, now it's okay, we can produce energy.
Oxygen.
Yes, very good. That's the purpose of the oxygen. That's why we inhale oxygen, to produce energy. So if you take glucose, you can't produce energy from the glucose itself. So you need oxygen as well. Then only you can produce energy. Right? එතකොට තමයි ඔයාට energy produce කරන්න පුළුවන්. Glucose plus oxygen, glucose plus oxygen together form energy. Okay, two things produced during the process of cellular respirations. I will write down again. Yeah? Glucose plus oxygen and two things produced. What are the other products of photosynthesis? Yes, very good. Yes, Itundi. Other one product is there, what you call carbon dioxide. Some students message this is the answer. That's good, right? That means you are not sleeping. Thank you. Sometimes I may understand that you all are sleeping, and right, you don't know, without knowing yourself, you just sleep, right? But that means you are live conditions, right? Carbon dioxide plus what you call water. Carbon dioxide plus water. So during the cellular respiration process, the things produced, what you call glucose plus oxygen, products are carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Now you just think about the photosynthesis equations. Photosynthesis, the reactants are carbon dioxide, water, energy from the sunlight, and produce glucose and oxygen. You just think about how to the relationship between these two there. Now during the cellular respiration, glucose plus oxygen produce carbon dioxide, water. There's a relationship. If you can keep in mind the process of photosynthesis, you can write the equation for the process of cellular respiration as well. Now if you try to write down the chemical equation for this cellular respiration process, help me. Glucose, tell me the formula for that. C6. Tell me the formula for the glucose. Again, formula is glucose C6, H12
O6.
O6 plus O2. The things form carbon dioxide CO2 plus H2O. This is not kind of a product, no material, no. It's not a matter, no. It's energy, no. That's why I'm writing here energy as energy. Actually, energy here that is produced as the ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So by breakdown of this ATP, energy is released. So it's not a matter. That's why I wrote like this way here. So you can complete the tube like this way. All organisms need energy for their metabolisms. The process stored food is transformed to energy inside the cells is known as cellular respirations. Keep in mind the word, the process by which stored food means actually starch, starch in starch, right? The plant body starch, right? Stored food, what you call transform into the energy inside the cells is known as the cellular respiration. That's the process of the cellular respiration. Complete the blank. Cellular respirations. Cellular respiration is a series of biochemical reactions. There is a square given to you to complete that, to write the chemical equation for the cellular respiration process. So what you have to do, you have to write down the chemical equation of the cellular respiration process. No need to write down the word equation. You just write down the chemical equation of the cellular respiration process on the given blank. Blank and cellular respiration process equation. Right. The end. What you call, how these chemical uh, reaction take place during the cellular respiration process. Right. I think you will have write down these things there. On just get some idea about the photosynthesis process and reactants, products, cellular respiration process, reactants, products. Any questions? Questions, I just check whether any questions from. Yes. Don't worry. No problems. Here it's not balancing. Yes. Thank you. Right. Another question. It's not balanced there. Now you know how to balance. Now you can balance yourself. Now you can support me. You can get help to me to balance this equation. By initial, you can see there this side carbon 6 there. So the product side also carbon 6 should be there. So in order to balance, I can put 6 carbon and hydrogen 12 this side. What I can do, in order to balance with the oxygen, hydrogen, I can put here 6. Now you just check with the number of oxygen atoms. Here 6 into 2, 12. 12 plus 6, 18. Then there should be 18 oxygen atoms in other side. So in order to give, because here it already has 6 oxygen, we need 12 more oxygen. In order to give 12 more oxygens, what we can put, I can put 6 here. So you can balance very quickly. Actually, this purpose of this experiment is to show that carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respiration process. Right? The basic purpose of this activity is to show that carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respiration process. Now here there is a frog here. Frog, Now normal air, right. So right. Normal air comes from here. Air comes from here. Air means it's a collection of every kind of gases like carbon dioxide, oxygen, every kind of gas is present there. Now all gas come into here like this. Normal. gas right. Then there is a liquid called potassium hydroxide. What is the liquid here there? Potassium hydroxide is present there. When potassium hydroxide here, the purpose of the potassium hydroxide is to absorb the carbon dioxide comes in. So here if any mixture of air comes, mixture of gas comes, but from there carbon dioxide is absorbed by the potassium hydroxide, right? So carbon dioxide dissolved there. So gas comes out from here. Carbon dioxide is absent because it's already carbon dioxide is dissolved in potassium hydroxide. So, but even though I am telling that carbon dioxide is not there, so in the science, whatever we do, we have to show it experimentally. That's our purpose. So, gas come from here, I am telling that carbon dioxide is absorbed now there. So there is a lime water here because you know already lime water becomes milky color when the presence of carbon dioxide. If the carbon dioxide is there, lime water become milky color. Right. Normally air comes out from here, goes to the lime water, and if carbon dioxide is there, it should become milky color. No, that is you have learned from the grade 6. Grade 6 you have learned that lime water become milky color due to the presence of carbon dioxide. Because of the absence of carbon dioxide, there is no change in lime water. There is no change of the lime water because carbon dioxide is absent. Now gas comes out here. Now here the gas comes out, carbon dioxide is absent. We experimentally observe that lime water does not show any kind of a color change. So now here what we call, there is a frog. You know that if there is an animal means animal follow the cellular respiration process. I just discussed with you the cellular respiration process equations. During the cellular respiration process, uh, so what happens there? Oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released. From this mixture of gas, oxygen absorbed and carbon dioxide released. So therefore, what happens there? Cellular respiration take place, frog, and now carbon dioxide comes out from here. But how do you identify that carbon dioxide comes out from the frog? Again, we have lime water. Now, what do you think about? Is there any kind of a change lime water? Lime water, does it change into the milky color or no change? Answer, switch on the microphone and answer me. Lime water turns to milky color or no change in D. Can you put the microphone on color? Then on color can question on loud. Yes, can you put it turns into
milky color.
yes. In the D, lime water turns into the milky color. Yes, very good. Lime water turns into the milky color. So then again we have water. So sometimes you may have question, why do we have a vessel with water here? So there is a tap here. You may have heard about the suction pressure. Suction is something like vacuuming process there, no? So what happens there when water comes out from this tap, it gives some kind of it exerts a pressure to air moves in. It's something like vacuum cleaner, you know. It gives a suction pressure to enter air to the P. Because when water comes out, it gives a force to enter air into the P. That's the objective of the e-water vessel. Right? Question එකක් අහලා තියෙනවා කවුරු හරි බලමු අපි. What does it mean? Yes, okay, control X මම කියන්න, right? Now, so this setup actually we used to show that carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respiration process. Now, control setup, control experiment. Student asking me, what does mean control setups? The control experiment means all the factors are provided without variable factor. Now, if the frog is there, that is the variable factor. So if you ask to solution, asked to form a setup as a control experiment, what you have to do, You have to make the similar setup, but without frog, right? You have to remove the frog. Control experiment means all other factors, potassium hydroxide, lime water, and everything is there. All the setup is provided, but apart from variable factor means frog is not there. Frog ayin karama hari. So again, I will revise on that concentrate kalahagana. Now gas come here. Then potassium hydroxide there. Potassium hydroxide absorb the carbon dioxide. So gas comes out from here. Carbon dioxide is not there. So then from here, lime water does not show any kind of a color change. Why lime water does not show any kind of a color change? Because what carbon dioxide already absorbed from the setup A. And here the frog, because we have to take gas without carbon dioxide, right? Now here the frog is there. Cellular respiration is done by the frog, and air comes out from here uh, because it's already cellular respiration process take place. Gas comes out, contains carbon dioxide if the cell respiration is done. So in the D vessel, lime water become milky color, and this setup shows the suction pressure is provided by the water. When water comes out, it gives some kind of a suction pressure to air moves in through the P. So this is the basic setup for our science syllabus to show that carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respiration process. Okay. Now we'll move for the our tute. Okay, tute එකට යන්න අපි. You have given this tute and you have given this setup. Yes, we'll try to fill the blanks, and your support is needed. You have to answer because the tute is given like a question form. Question form can be that. If you like, you can write down the answers some on the tute as well, right? If you do not have, you can write somewhere, right? First experiment to show the release of carbon dioxide, the blank first blank, carbon dioxide during respiration, right? What is the function of potassium? Yes, question එකක් වගේ බලමු අපි. What does it means control experiment? What is the difference between this one and yes, that's a control yes, as I answered that. And control experiment means actually without this variable factor. The main difference here, without frog, right? Frog is not there, right? Question number 1. What is the function of potassium hydroxide in vessel A? Now you can switch on your microphone. What is the required of, what is the need of potassium hydroxide in A? Why we need, what is the function of potassium hydroxide in vessel A? Answer.
Absorption of carbon dioxide.
Yes, absorption of carbon dioxide, dissolve of carbon dioxide. So you can write down carbon dioxide that entered through the P, dissolve in potassium dioxide, dissolving of carbon dioxide or absorption of carbon dioxide in vessel A, right? You can complete the blanks. So we'll move for the second question. What is the observation vessel B and vessel D after some time? Yes. Now Puta, you can switch on your microphone. Then put up microphones on karana kamak na vihanga. Lizara, you can switch on microphones. Anuda, Tarin, right? You go put up microphones on karana me. Here me. What is the observation in vessel B and vessel D after some time? Vessel B, is there any change or no change? Lime water in vessel B. Yes. Answer. Lime water. Any change here, vessel B?
No change.
Yes, lime water. I mean, there is no change. I mean, lime color of the lime water does not change. Right? You can both answers are correct. Does not change lime water in vessel B or right? No change. Right? They asked the vessel. Yes, vessel D. What will happen there? Lime water turns into the what's vessel D. Lime water turns into milky color. Complete that one. Vessel D, after some time, lime water turns into the milky color. All right. Next one. Uh, what is the reason for above observations? They're asking why there is no color change on here because uh, so vessel D turns milky color. The carbon dioxide release by the frog during cellular respirations. Or otherwise, no need to write the same answers because vessel D, because carbon dioxide reach to the vessel D due to the cellular respiration of frog. Otherwise, carbon dioxide is present in vessel D due to the respiration of frog. But carbon dioxide is absent in vessel B. That's the reason for the observation. Observation and reason are two things. Observation means what you can see, right? Reason means the science behind for these things, right? So you can write down the suitable answer for that things. Next question they are asking, propose some student asked that same questions there. Propose a control experiment for the above experiment, right? So control X, how do you set up the control experiments? What you have to do, you have to remove this frog, or otherwise a control experiment can be made without frog in C. You can remove the frog in C and make the setup. That's a way to make the control experiment. You can make the control experiment without frog in C. Okay, I think you got some idea about these things. Next question. What is the conclusion of this experiment? Yes, what is the conclusion of this experiment? Uh, so what is produced during cellular respirations? Which gas is produced there, Buddha? So the conclusion is carbon dioxide is produced during the cellular respiration of frog. Carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respiration of frog. You can write down. That's the conclusion of this experiment. Carbon dioxide released during the cellular respiration of frog. Next question. ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නයෙන් අහනවා. If you want to show the release of carbon dioxide during the respiration of plants, what is the change you should do? So what you have to do there, you have to make the you have to make the setup, but you have to show that plant release carbon dioxide during cellular respirations. They are asking what is the change you have to do there. So it's not difficult. What you have to do there, so you can replace the frog with green plants, right? Put germinating green grams or green plants instead of frog. So then you can conclude carbon dioxide is released during the respirations there. So instead of frog, what you can just put green plants there. That is very simple. Right. Any other questions? Now you can ask, you can switch on microphones or you can chat or any other questions. It seems that you don't have questions about these things there, right? If you have still questions, you can ask me, right? Hari. නෑ මං හිතන්නේ වෙන ප්‍රශ්න නෑ. හොඳයි. So that is this activity. So what we are going to move next activity. That is also very important. මං හිතනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට confident ඇති කියලා මේ activity එක මේක it's very important activity. මේක හරිම වැදගත් activity එකක්. These two activities are the very important activities in this unit. For the second term paper, definitely you may have question out of these two activities. Right? Definitely, no doubt. Therefore, you must very much confident about these two activities there. And අපි ඊළඟ කොටසට යනවා. Right. මේකත් ටිකක් important activity එකක්. මේකත් හොඳට attention එකෙන් අහගෙන ඉන්න. Right. We'll see their difference. Right. Here, the previous knowledge also helpful to study about this activity. Right. Here, a rubber tube there. මෙතනත් rubber tube එකක් තියෙනවා. Potassium hydroxide here. Potassium hydroxide is not here. Colored water here. Colored water there. Right. මෙතනත් colored water තියෙනවා. So, දැන් අපි පොඩ්ඩක් try කරමු ඉගෙන ගන්න මේ activity. හොඳට අහගන්න. Now, germinating seeds, cellular respiration process take place now. So during the cellular respiration process, we learn from the previous activity, carbon dioxide is released during the cellular respirations. That's what we learned in the previous activity. This activity, what we are going to learn, oxygen is absorbed during the cellular respirations. Previous activity, carbon dioxide is released. This activity, oxygen is absorbed. Let's study about this. Now, germinating seeds here. Actually, this is right, germinating seeds there, B apparatus, potassium hydroxide, right? Now, what happened here? Oxygen is absorbed, carbon dioxide is released. This one also oxygen absorbed, carbon dioxide released. For this experiment, we believe the amount of oxygen absorbed and the amount of carbon dioxide released is equal. As a volume concern, we just assuming that volume of the oxygen absorbed, carbon dioxide release is equal. Right? Volume of the oxygen absorbed, volume of the carbon dioxide release is equal. That's an assumption. But yes, so similar amount absorbed, released. Similar volume absorbed, released. But there is a potassium hydroxide vessel here. The ignition tube with the potassium hydroxide. What happened there? When carbon dioxide released, හොඳට concentrate කරලා අහගන්න. මනස එතනම තියාගන්න. When carbon dioxide released, these carbon dioxide absorbed by the potassium hydroxide. So this release all carbon dioxide absorbed by the potassium hydroxide. But here there is no potassium hydroxide. So absorption and releasing both take place. Here absorption oxygen is take place, but released on absorbed here to potassium hydroxide. Therefore, from the glass here, volume of the oxygen decrease, carbon dioxide releasing not take place. oxygen amount decrease, and due to the form, some kind of uh, blank form due to the release of the oxygen. In order to fill that blank, fill that gap, water comes up, right? Because now oxygen is produced due to the cellular respiration process. To fill the blank created due to the absorption of the oxygen, water moves up. But here, carbon dioxide releasing, oxygen absorption both take place. There is no upward movement of water. This upward movement of water takes place due to the oxygen absorption of germinating seeds. That's a very brief explanation about this activity. Right. Now we'll try to complete the blanks given on your tube. Experiment to show the absorption of oxygen in respirations. What is the function of potassium hydroxide in A apparatus? Now you can switch on your microphones, Puta. Microphones on karanna. Answer karanna. What is the function of the potassium hydroxide? I have told you there. What is the function of potassium hydroxide? Absorption of, yes,
Carbon
yes,
dioxide.
carbon dioxide. Yes, carbon dioxide released during respiration.
Carbon dioxide.
Yes, and dissolving of carbon dioxide,
Carbon
absorption
dioxide.
of carbon dioxide released from germinating seeds, or any things you can write down. Next questions. What are the assumptions of the above experiments? I told you there are two assumptions. One is, uh, now what happens there, and right, one thing is the uh, write down, if you have a tube, write down, in respiration, absorbed volume of oxygen is equal to release volume of carbon dioxide. That's the one assumption. In respiration, absorbed volume of oxygen is equal to the released volume of carbon dioxide. That's the one question. And that's the one answer for that question. Absorb volume and release volume is equal. Another assumption here, actually when you start the experiment also, some kind of what you call carbon dioxide is present here now there. That carbon dioxide present is negligible, right? Write down this one. Volume of the carbon dioxide in the flask negligible. Volume of the carbon dioxide in the flask negligible. We don't care about the volume of the carbon dioxide in the flask. So the first one, volume of the carbon dioxide in the flask negligible, and in respiration, absorbed volume of oxygen is equal to the released volume of carbon dioxide. Okay. Next question. What is the observation observation in A apparatus? A apparatus. The water uh, the water column in the glass tube is drawn up. Otherwise, the water column in the glass tube moves up. Observation. You can write down the water column of the glass tube moves up, goes up. Next question. What is the reason for above observations? Right. You can write down if you write. Carbon dioxide released during respiration of seeds dissolve in potassium hydroxide. oxygen in the flask is absorbed by seeds for respiration. To fill that gap, air in the tube flows into the flask. So, water column in the glass tube is drawn up. Again, I'll repeat the answer. Carbon dioxide released during respiration of seeds dissolve in potassium hydroxide. Oxygen in the flask is absorbed by seeds for respiration. To fill that gap, air in the tube flows into the flask. So water column in the glass tube is drawn up. Answer. Okay. Next question. What is the conclusion of the above experiment? The conclusion is actually oxygen is absorbed during the cellular respiration. Oxygen is absorbed during the respiration of organisms during the cellular respiration. Next question. What is the observation in B apparatus give reasons? Write down. No change in B setup. No change in B setup because absorbed volume of oxygen is equal to release volume of carbon dioxide. No change in B setup because absorbed volume of oxygen is equal to the released volume of carbon dioxide. Right. Next question. What are the respiratory organs of below organisms? First one, frog. They are asking respiratory organs. So what they use for the respiration process. Actually, frog, it basically use three organs, right? There is no fixed organs. It uses lungs, moist skin, and mouth or buccal cavity. Mouth can buccal cavity. Lungs, moist skin, mouth. All these three parts they use for the respiration across different stages, right? Tilapia. What is the respiratory organ of tilapia? Answer me. What
Gills.
Gills. They are gills. Puta, what is the respiratory organ of human? What we use for the respirations? Moist skin. Api pavichchi karan respiration gun. What we use for the respirations? What is our respiratory organ? Lungs. Then dog also lungs. Right. The next one, grasshopper, tracheal system for the insects. So it's kind of a particular system, tracheal system, tracheal system, tracheal system. You can write down that one. About the tracheal systems and other things we have to discuss under the classification of organisms unit. Right. So you can switch on microphones, no problem. It's more than 2 hours now. You can switch on your microphone. If you have any questions, you can ask me. How about the lesson today? You understand the things? Yes, or you can just put a message එකක් දාන්න කොහොමද lesson එක අද මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Understand well or very boring lesson, or if you into something pauna. You just think about committing suicide after the lesson or something. If you have any kind of a comments, you can send me. I'm just going to read your comments now. Comments ටික ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ chat box එකේ බලන්න. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, understood, sir. Yes, sir. Well understood. Right, right.
Thank you, Magi. Yes,
Okay. Great. Himashi. Class is great. Manisha. Okay, thank you. Nuri. Johan, right? Today class is great. Okay, thank you.
Thank
So
you,
that's
sir.
what I'm expecting here. So I need to do something. Yeah, I hope that you get something there. Don't. So what you have to do there, you have to revise the. Thank you, Medpani. Okay, Amisha. So what you have to do, you have to again go through the lesson, and again you have to study the things and do your best. Yes. Any questions you can ask me. Thank you very much, Tanumi. Okay. Any questions? Ask me. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න නැත්නම් මගේ WhatsApp private message එකට දාන්න. And that's all for today. It's more than 2 hours now. Right? We stop. වෙනදා වගේ ඉතින් ගෙදර යන්න නැහැ. ගෙදර ඉඳලාම ඉන්නේ ක්ලාස් එක කරන්නේ. ඒක නිසා වෙනම බඩු කාර් එකකට දාලා දුවන්න එහෙම මොකුත් නැහැ. Simply ක්ලාස් එක නවත්තන්න තියෙන්නේ නම් that's all for today. මම තවත් චුට්ටක් ඕනනම් ඉන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට මොනවා හරි message තියෙනවනම් දැන් මොනවත් පස්සේ වුණත් මගේ WhatsApp message එකට දාන්න මම voice input කරලා ඕගොල්ලන්ට answer එක එවන්නම්. Arianam, thank you very much for staying with me.
Thank you.
Budu Saranai, God bless you. Everyone, God bless you, Buddha. Bye. Good night for now. Good night. Okay.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night.